Hi, I'm Arnaud. I am a film critic for the film experience where I have met you, Juan Carlos, where you have published many articles there. And I also work as a teacher in media studies and artificial intelligence. It started this year actually, so I'm pretty happy with that. So hello, Juan Carlos, how are you?
I am good. I am very creatively energized by my past few weeks and months of making this pre-production for this film and then doing a theater workshop when I just finished them. I just did a musical. So doing those two things at the same time was very
Nice.
creatively energizing. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Congratulations. It must be very exciting. Yeah. And so I was very moved and happy that you shared your screenplay with me. Closing time. It was yeah, it was quite emotional reading it actually, because it's been a long time that I'm really fond of the short film media and the length. You know, you can tell a story that spans many emotions, but that is really contained in some 20-30 minutes. I don't know. Um, and I feel that in your screenplay you had a vast array of emotions. Uh, so congratulations. I wondered, I wondered what was the starting point of this short film because of this idea. Because I remember for the film experience, you have written a series of articles that is about the establishing shots of main characters of actresses. I remember how the actresses appear in the movie. What is their first shot? So, do you have the first shot of your main character in mind already?
Oh yeah. I mean, when I imagine the idea, I think I've said this before. Just the starting point was the concept of a theater actor in a sauna. That's the starting point of the idea, but I didn't know the protagonist right away. But
Mhm.
once I had the actor in mind, which I cannot say who that person is yet, for the role of Toby, the protagonist, it was easy. I had a first shot. The first sequence in the script is the first time I saw him in my mind when I was writing it, and it was that it was how it was written in the screenplay. It was a process of just allowing how I saw these characters and just following the gut feeling. I don't really I don't know. I know a lot of I know writers who almost treat their scripts as if they're
Mhm.
very much engineering it. I'm very much not. I'm someone who lets the story flow from within me and then figure out later why did I do that. And it's a process that helps, especially in this one, because it's a very emotional script that doesn't really follow traditional structure. So I'm trying to be more sensitive in feeling where is this character coming from? Where is this character going? Why are we going this way? And in the process, it became this very humanistic way of looking at the story, especially for a story that might be misconstrued or even fetishized by people outside of the subculture, not just the spa culture, but just like the gay outside of the gay community. But it's a screenplay that was written just from the gut feeling, and yeah, it's a great way to write stories when you just follow your emotions and then and have that experience, and hopefully the audience will have the same thing as well.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure they will. It's very nice to hear you talk about the humanistic and the gut feeling of the story because I think it will many spectators will I think will discover this universe and they will realize that people there are not that different from them. Their feelings, their so I feel the film comes from a way to give more visibility to a community, to people. Is that something that you connect with?
Oh yeah, it was definitely a part of something that was one of the early considerations because um, specifically in this country. in the Philippines, but it's universal as well. Um, the fact that we live in a heteronormative world, which means in varying levels, the gay community will always be marginalized or sidelined, and marginalization always feeds off of misunderstanding or lack of knowledge of that community. And with this story specifically, it's not just gay community; it's a Manila gay scene that engages in the spa culture. I don't think I've seen a film here in this country that tackles that. And the spa culture here is very specific because in other countries the spa culture is not as is not seen the same way. Like for example, you go to Japan where the spa culture is just part of the daily life of many people. Like families go to spa. Same thing I think with Korea probably.
Hmm.
In other Asian countries as well, it's there might be associations of the spa culture with the gay culture, but the defining thing is that the Philippines is a predominantly Catholic country in Asia.
Yes.
So
Mm-mm.
when we talk about the concept of the Catholic guilt and all that, and then the shame in discussing sex and just
Mm-mm.
sex in general, the hesitation to talk about that, it's a very specific story, and that's what encouraged me from even sharing it more because the more it gets specific, I do feel that the emotions are more real and it would touch on the lives of people who might not be in this very specific subculture but would identify with the feelings of being isolated,
Yes.
being just wanting to be seen, just wanting to be accepted for who they are and not always want to compartmentalize just for them to be accepted. So I'm very cognizant of like, okay, this is a subculture that is not very much discussed in a serious way. There's a lot of misunderstanding. There's a lot of judgment with people in it, or judgment about the spaces where these culture subculture takes place, and I want to
Hmm.
deconstruct it. I want to see the humanity behind the mystique or the lack of understanding.
That's so cool. And you're right. It's very important to. I think especially in many countries where there is a heavy influence from the religion, who unfortunately is not that tolerant. So it's um, it's very important, and I feel it's quite groundbreaking. From what I see, I don't see a lot of happy stories or with this quiet and serene, smooth feeling. It's really I really enjoyed reading the screenplay because I knew I was safe with these characters. I don't know how to put it up any other way, but you know. And sometimes I struggle with stories, LGBT stories. I think they focus too much on the suffering, and I'm happy ending. And I don't want to spoil your short film yet, but I was very happy with the way um, it was shot in my head. And do did you have in mind while writing the screenplay that it would be a rather optimistic point of view?
Yes.
Yes, from the very
This is
beginning.
the first
Yeah,
screen.
yeah.
Yes, yes, definitely. When I conceptualized the screenplay back in September last year, and then immediately wrote a sequence outline, that was the ending already. It mutated, it shifted, but it's very much the same idea of people waiting. And yeah, it's the first screenplay that is specifically explicitly stated that they are LGBTQI plus.
Mm,
I mean, for me, I've written scripts
mm,
before, and I've always seen my characters as within that, um, within the community, but they've never really been fully expressed. But this is the first one that is gonna be made soon. That's very much explicitly that. And I think in this country and the world, I think we are in a curb. We are starting to really explore um, queer stories beyond the lens of suffering. I mean, I do understand where that's coming from because the world is still a tough place for the queer community, but at the same time, it becomes a double-edged sword if that's the only thing we're seeing. And in this life we are seeing triumphs, and we gotta celebrate those things as well.
Yeah.
We got I believe that we need stories of triumph as well as suffering for us to be able to absorb the complexity of the human experience, and specifically the gay experience. And as for this film, there was no way this wasn't going to be that ending. I am very much optimistic when I was writing it, and it wasn't coming from the place of like, I need this to be a happy ending. No, it felt right that way because um, I'm very much optimistic with um, where we're heading. Hopefully, we need that kind of optimism.
Mm.
I am someone who, at a lot of points in my life, specifically recently, have been drained out of hope. And as a storyteller, I am fighting against that instinct to just be pessimistic. This is probably the first screenplay that I wrote that I'm happy that the characters are happy when they ended, and I love these characters, and I think this is what they deserve. This is not just for me to be. This is a happy ending, but it's the right ending to tell the story, and it's one of the sequences that I am most excited to shoot. Um, and that's really what it is.
I'm sure it will connect with many people. Yeah, you're talking about shooting, and I'm very curious, about. Also, I really like the mood boards that you've shared, um, and you're talking about some sequences. How, how is the conversation, sorry, going with your DP, director of photography? Have you already started planning some sequences? Have you the locations already uh, planned for the film?
Oh, oh, yeah, yeah. My director of photography, with the director of photography, I've already I'm talking to someone. Um, we're still making schedules work because this is the film, because this is crowdfunded. This is entirely dependent on when would the money be completed, and then that would be dictating when would we be shooting, and that would be
Mhm.
dictating which people would be on board. So, but I'm already in early discussions with a director of photography, and we've had very insightful discussions about how to shoot this world. And basically, what I got was that the director of photography that I was speaking with is just so eager to tell the story as well, because they're also they want to tell a story from this subculture, the spa subculture, which is a very specific need that they felt, and like, yeah, let's work together, and hopefully things work out in schedule and in financing. So that's why we are ramping up our crowdfunding campaign, because we really want to make it as soon as possible. As opposed to the location, ah, uh, um, uh, the two, because there are only 5 locations in the film, right? The spa, sidewalk, Airbnb,
Mhm. Airbnb, yeah.
restaurant, theater. The theater I have,
Yeah.
the theater is specifically written in the film, and hopefully we get them on the schedule we would need them. The spa, um, I'm just gonna say that the conversations are going really well in terms of the spa, and that's very important because the spa
Cool.
is gonna be such an important part in not just visually, but in understanding the emotions enveloped in this story. And the conversations I've had with the people on the location that I'm getting with have been very positive, and looking forward to sharing this world through how I really saw it. And it's really great once you get your dream actors, your good dream location, and they become a reality. And hopefully we
Yes,
get them.
that's so cool.
Hopefully it
Yeah,
happens soon. But yeah, good times, good times.
yeah, that's cool. I hope so too. Yeah, congratulations. I was thinking about the extras also, the many men that we can see in the spa. How will Have you started thinking of the logistics of it all?
Oh yeah, in terms of meeting with actors who would be willing to take on the requirements of the roles, I've been speaking with um, certain actors
Hmm.
who know other actors as well that would be willing to do that. And then early on, I immediately secured a conversation with an intimacy coordinator because of how intimate the story would be. I need everyone to be safe because I believe that is the only way that we would be able to bring out the best of people.
Yeah.
That is very prime for me. The moment I wrote those scenes and you've read those scenes,
Yeah.
I said, I need an intimacy coordinator here.
Yeah.
And luckily, the person I've been talking to is a very powerful intimacy coordinator. And now, again, just hoping to line up schedules, but so eager to work with our intimacy coordinator. And then in terms of the other actors, the people in the spa, we are still in like the way of feeling who's game, but I already have a dream casting for everyone else. So
Yeah.
of course the Toby and JD are already officially attached. So but then the masculine man in the spa, the female lead in the musical in the film, Toby's 4 friends, JD's 2 friends. I already have a dream casting for those, and it's just a matter of
Yes.
reaching out to them once the schedule is locked and loaded. But it's gonna be very much a cast filled with theater actors that I have watched their work this past few years, and it's a process of I'm falling in love with theater, and it's a matter of also getting to work with people who I admire, and that's one of the things that excites me is the process of collaboration because I know they would be bringing some lovely things on set. So
That's
yeah,
so
can't
cool.
wait.
Yeah, yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, fingers crossed for your dream cast and dream crew also. Um, y- and I was also thinking about the post production because I have been involved in VFX and post production for a while, um, and especially the score tracks and that because I think music can make me go back to a movie, to the feelings I had while watching the movie. But I feel that closing time it really relies on the performances of the characters. I don't know their breaths and the atmosphere. I don't know if it needs a soundtrack, but I'm curious if you have thought about that, about a score for the movie.
Yeah. With the composer, I already have a composer. We already announced it. It's DJ Gabby, who is this is gonna be her
Okay,
feature.
nice.
He's gonna be her film debut as a composer. Yeah,
Oh, you're right. You talked
but
about it on the
there's
on Instagram. I think I remember now. Yeah.
yeah, we
Yeah.
already announced her, and she's excited. We worked together recently. We worked together twice on the theater, and she's already been saying like, let's have some conversations already, and like, yeah, let's finish our theater work first. But since it's done, we gotta have those conversations already soon, and but there's a moment in the film where someone's singing a song, and the song the character is not just singing a song, they're singing a song within a musical that is being performed in the film. So there are many layers of that song, and we
Yeah.
cannot wait because also the character who's gonna be singing that song is already officially attached. So like Ed has a lovely voice. So
Yeah.
we cannot wait to start figuring out how to bring that out musically in terms of lyrics as well as melody. But also for me personally, since I am gonna be editing this as well, I I like being hands on in editing. That's just like it's a me thing. I'm already to starting to spot um, moments where the score would most probably be needed. It's gonna be quite of a I'm thinking of it as quite of a sparse score, which with moments of intense emotions. Like I would think of something like I've said this in one of my Instagram clips of like inspirations, but visually and even musically, I'm thinking of something like Moonlight and Past Lives.
Yeah.
Like they feel sparsely scored, and yet there are moments of just like intense. And I
Yeah.
think the the music in those films are very strategically used and beautifully realized as well. But of course, I'm listening to very specific tracks, but hopefully we are inspired and yet we go beyond our inspirations. And I am confident with my collaboration with the DJ Gabby because she's a rock star, and I can't wait to see what she brings because she has already composed two beautiful songs, which I am fortunate enough to have been able to sing either as part of the ensemble. Yeah, as part of the ensemble, and I am so freaking confident that she's gonna bring it, and not just the song, but also the score throughout the film. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's the blend of the song. Yeah, it blends with the score of the movie, and I think it will be a stunning moment. I really can't wait to hear it and to see the film actually.
yeah, and I also know how to shoot it already. So like I know like okay, this is gonna be how my camera is gonna move. I know my lighting in this moment. I know how to cut this.
Yes.
I like
It will,
it's gonna be magic.
it will be like a climax. Yeah. And there also will be surprises while shooting, and that's the fun of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure there will be many things happening that and scripted, I don't know, things during because it's a movie about connections and the surprise of it. So let's see what the actors will bring us. So yeah, you have cast the main characters. You told me the two main characters. They're already cast.
Yes, they're already officially attached.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
We
How they
have to get to
started
announce them
the
soon.
rehearsal? Yeah.
No, no rehearsals
uh,
yet, but we've already had initial
yeah.
conversations, and
Okay.
I'm very interested in the points that they brought, and yeah, and I promise that it's gonna be very collaborative because I've seen them on stage, I've seen them on film, and I know they have a lot to bring
Yeah.
beyond what I could even comprehend as the one who wrote the screenplay. And my job is once I get to have those conversations, and once we do the rehearsals, of course, it's gonna be necessary since because of the nature of the project. Once it's go time, my job there is just to capture what they would bring and also direct,
Yeah.
but also the trust is already there, and I am just very excited to work with them.
Yeah, that's cool. It's really cool, and I can't wait. Yeah, to see the film in Cannes next festival.
Oh my
Next year,
gosh! Oh,
but no
we'll
pressure.
see. We'll see if we make it in time. We'll see, but yeah, we are already having those discussions early on.
Mm-mm.
Not in specific film festivals per se, but just to devise a plan to share this to as many people as possible.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that can't wait.
that would be so cool. I feel like short film has its own, distribution system, and I sometimes I feel it deserves more exposure. Even here in France, we don't see a lot of short films actually. Maybe sometimes on television, but I had the privilege to watch short films made by a local production company in the cinema, but it's quite rare actually. So I hope there will be a big exposure.
I do hope there's gonna be a change about perceptions on the short
Yeah,
films because people think of it as a sidebar. People think of it as a stepping stone for filmmakers, and many people do that. They use
yeah,
it as a stepping stone, but short films is an art form that deserves to be respected the same way as feature films because they're not just short in terms of runtime, meaning they matter less, but they have their own structure of telling a story. They have their own demands. They have their own. It's an own skill set. Not everyone who gets to write feature films can easily write shorts because it has its own rhythm, own structure, own. It has its own thing, and hopefully, we get to a point where people just see it more with respect and not see it as a sidebar because the genesis of cinema as a whole are those 50-second short films from the premier directors that we've had, and the same way that weirdly documentaries still don't get the same respect, animated films are treated not as seriously. Short films are an art form as well within the realm of cinema, this beautiful thing called cinema, and they deserve to be respected, and not because and the people who make short films, sometimes it's not a stepping stone. Sometimes it's the best way to tell that story.
Yeah.
And Closing Time is meant as a short film. I'll just say that, and hopefully, we do our very best to be able to share it with the world.
Yeah, I hope so. Can't wait. So congratulations, guys. It really sounds very promising.
Yeah, thank you, and yeah, looking forward to. Hopefully, we get to shoot. We get to shoot before the year ends. Hopefully, but for me, whichever is the best
Yeah.
conditions to make this film work, and I'm very much excited.
Yeah, I hope so. And I hope that you will tell us a bit about the behind the scenes. Maybe with the Indiegogo campaign, you will keep us updated about the shooting and the making of the film.
Yes, very much. The Indiegogo, we will update the people who donated, and the Instagram would be a place. The Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram Closing Time PH. We would definitely keep things updated.
Okay, cool. That's really cool.
Thank you, though. Thank you
you.
very much for our conversation. It was really nice.
Thank you
Oh
very
my
much.
gosh.
Merci. And so it was a pleasure. Yeah, thank you, Juan Carlos, for sharing this story with us.